Hello, fam. I'm out here again, on the way to the same waterfall. Not because I have to, but because I was led to. Consistency is key. Repetition. But still, it feels new and fresh and alive, like I've never done it before. And it is like so when you live for this moment now. Just walked by a baby, and that's what inspired me to whip out the phone and make this video, because I'm thinking, wow, not even thinking, simply observing the smile on the baby's face as we looked into each other's eyes. The mother asked, hey, can I pet the dog? Can I pet your dog? Not my dog, but that's the word she used. Can I pet your dog? I said, yeah, of course. And then she said, thank you. Have a wonderful day. I said, you too. But the baby, the energetic exchange as we looked into each other's eyes, just the joy and the purity and innocence. The baby is full and abundant in its life essence. And it's the same with you when you commit to abstinence. Because you become the highest apple on the tree, ripe, full and abundant, a newly birthed seed of life. Because you haven't released it, it builds up within you. And it's not simply just not about releasing it. It's about transmuting it and converting it, being conscious of it, respecting it. Because this is the force that nourishes us. So, and in turn, when we're conscious of this, we realize this is our eternal sustenance. And thus it doesn't make sense to waste it on petty fleshly desires of the flesh. We walk in spirit, not in flesh. This, of course, is the fundamental teaching of Jesus. And as the spirit builds up within us in abundance, there is absolute non-resistance in every circumstance. Everything's effortless, even effort. Like this conversation now.
Hi.
Hey, brother. Do you mind being in the video?
No, it's fine.
All right. Beautiful dog you have here.
Yep, you too.
Have a wonderful day, man. And simply little interactions like that, you don't know the profound impact that they may have. You're planting the seed. That seed that's within you. You're planting that seed in another. Because you've overcome the slavery of sexual desire. You're the one in a million, one in a big number that has overcome that desire. And therefore, you exist at a higher plane of existence. And you can share this essence with all the world around you, and it never exhausts. It's inexhaustible, illimitable, undeniable. Why? When I looked into the baby's eye, was there that utter joy? Because, again, the baby is the newly birthed seed of life. They embody the very essence of life. And so elders and people who contain less of this essence are very sensitive to its upliftment, whether or not they're conscious of it. Animals, babies, trees, all the environment is very sensitive to your spiritual energy. Because the same fundamental life energy animates all of existence, all of life, all the world around us. And when we have the intention to share this, not out of inadequacy, because we feel that we have to do good for somebody, but because we desire to sincerely or led to naturally, the world, life around us responds in a different way, responds accordingly. Hey guys.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well.
Enjoy your hike.
Thank you. People smile at you for no reason. Babies look at you wide-eyed with unmistakable curiosity. Like, hey, you're within me. I see you reflected in me. I'm the same life energy. A lot of the people around me don't seem to have it like me. So I'm gonna give what I got to them. That pure, unconditioned state of awareness that is predominant in the baby's consciousness. Simply observing, witnessing, not judging. There's no self-image present. That's what we can refer to as an ego, right? The notion that there's a personal me separate from the environment. That I exist separate from all this, instead of opening my eyes and wow, all this is happening inside of me. The sun coming down, falling upon the retina, enlightening the brain. Because the brain becomes a reservoir of life, energy, of light. And when you open your eyes, you're automatically sharing this light with all the world around you. See, school, the modern school system, when we're little children, teaches us to identify with intellect and memory. And say, hey, if you can remember this and regurgitate it on a piece of paper, you win, you're smart. If you have a high IQ, then you can be successful in the world. But that's not necessarily true. Because if you don't have the grace of the Lord, if you don't have an abundance of ojas, of spiritual energy, to help you navigate this world, traverse it fluidly, with flexibility and openness at heart, a lightheartedness, then although you may have outward success, worldly success, you may have a high social status, really, what is the point of this? If you don't have ease at heart, if you don't have a connection to the Most High, if your priority isn't deepening that connection more and more so every day, if that's not your intent, then believe me, because I've been there, worldly money, success, and status will wear out quickly. You'll see that it's fundamentally empty, unless, of course, it's backed by the truth of spirit, backed by a connection to something higher that transcends the world, that allows you to fully function efficiently, optimally in the world, be in it but not of it. This is one of the profound benefits of being abstinent, because again, you exist, you live, and are aware from a higher plane of existence on the human spine. As I've said many times, the altar of the divine. Your awareness, your attention is predominantly at a higher level of frequency, higher on the human spine, because practically what sexual desire does is it keeps us entrapped in survival mode in the lower regions of the spine. However, when we transcend this desire, we transmute it, that energy naturally over time is converted into ojas, travels higher along the spine. course, fundamentally, there is no time. But in order to be understood intellectually and logically, in terms of linearity, we speak in terms of time. The compound effect. Again, repetition. Consistency. And this is done effortlessly, when every moment is fresh and new and exciting and inviting and invigorating, as you're open to the life around you. You're open to giving and thus receiving, because giving and receiving are one. The more joy you have, the more you give it, the more you receive. You don't do it with that intent. You don't say, hey, I'm going to get something back. There's no expectations. There's no record keeping. But still, it flows back to you somehow, some way, in a way that you least expect. It may be just on the day that you need it too. Because, I'm not perfect. Some days, I may feel better than others. I know ultimately that I'm not my thoughts and feelings. So as I identify with the eternal witness, the awareness that's within all of us, that is permanent, unchanging, as I identify with this, on those days where I may not feel the best, I'm able to deal with it a whole hell of a lot easier than someone who, you could say, is operating predominantly from a lower frequency, a lower level of energy, a lower realm or plane of existence within the human spine. And so, like I said, I'm not perfect. Some days I may not feel the best. But what do? Simply sit in silence. Await the divine guidance. Await the inspiration that moves you to action. It may just bring you out here, barefoot, on the ground. The sun is shining. The trees are breathing. I am grounding. On the way to a waterfall, hydrating, speaking into the universe, into existence, into the Akash, ether, harmonious with all the 5 elements. And there's this practice in ancient Indian tradition that's persisted throughout the millennium. It's called Buddha Shuti. And it's essentially a purification of all the 5 elements, the 5 physical elements. Because so long as we exist aware from within this physical body, we want these elements to be interacting harmoniously with the world around us. And so that starts with the chakras, the spiritual energy centers within us. If you open up your body right now, if a surgeon cuts you open, you're not going to find chakras. You're not going to find these spiritual energy centers. Why? Because they're like ojas. It's a non-physical, spiritual dimension of energy within us. Similar to electricity. And again, like the newly embodied baby, when you commit to celibacy, you contain so much more of this life energy, this electricity. And thus, without even you having the conscious intent, simply by your very existence, you're sharing this energy with all the world around us. I say us from a higher context. One that inherently feels no sense of separateness. Whether the eyes are open or closed, there's that fundamental divine oneness that can never leave us. Wherever we're at on the spiritual journey, whatever frequency, that is always with us. and hence the importance, the significance of sitting in silence or walking in silence, walking meditation. Of course, now I'm speaking. However, when I'm done making this video, even now, I know I'm simply the loving witness. The birds singing, the sun shining, God's beautiful creation. It's so wonderful. And so in your waking hours, when you're conscious and awake and aware, when you make harmonious choices that are rooted based on your priority of ever deepening your relationship, your connection with divinity, naturally, the joy builds up within you ever more abundantly. That's a good assessment, self-inquiry to ask yourself to see if you're progressing on the spiritual journey. Hey, is the joy building up within me more and more so each day? Am I joyful to get out of bed today? Am I waking up with a smile? Am I excited and happy and looking forward to doing my eternal spiritual practice, my sadhana? Sadhana being a word for spiritual discipline, preliminary path to God. Whatever your sadhana is, am I excited to do it today? Excited, but at the same time, there's a detachedness. Like it's okay if it happens, okay if it doesn't. Either way, I'm okay. In fact, I'm better than okay. We could say, I'm happy, but actually, wait, I'm the eternal witness, which is beyond both happiness and distress. Because happy and unhappy is a duality. But wait, what is my true identity? Beyond both sadness and happiness, or stress and easiness, whatever the polarity, I'm beyond this. And when we're conscious of this, our very life on this planet is harmonious. We'll say hi to these people, and I say that's a solid video.
Oh, that was based on sound. Hi.
Sound. Hey, brother.
Hey, you were
Oh
accused
my
of
God.
all kinds of things. You were accused
Is that
of
a
being
pomegranate tattoo?
bear.
Yes, it is.
I love that. Hear that guy in the background say sound. Wow. Everything, the whole universe. The language of God is vibration, sound. And of course, even modern science postulates a transcendent frequency that is beyond all vibratory phenomenon, but beyond physical creation. So I ask you, what is your priority? Is it to continually elevate in frequency? Because if it is, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. I promise you, when you have that intent, you'll never regret it. God bless. See you in the next, God willing. I can't bow to you with one hand. We don't want it to be half a bow. We don't do anything half-assed over here, right? So you can see me through the grass, bowing to you. Namaste. Honor, delight in you. We don't have to bow to things like this outwardly. We can simply offer ourselves bow worship inwardly without the outward physical expression or action, without doing it with the body. But sometimes, you know, it's good to do it. Perhaps it put a smile on your face. Wow, this guy is a tool. But believe me, it's not for show. I may speak very lighthearted, openly, candidly, authentically, sincerely. In fact, I do. However, that doesn't mean there's not a certain part of me that doesn't take the spiritual journey very seriously. And I promise you, it comes from the heart. This is not for show. This is not to put out another video. This is to give life. Wherever you are in the world, that's one of the beautiful blessings about modern technology. You can stumble upon this video, and I believe whoever's meant to see it will. Only by God's will. God bless.